What's up, y'all? It's Randy, aka Naturally Fearless, and welcome to another day in the Vlogmas. It's Audrey. I know we skipped a couple days because it has been kind of crazy. We took Audrey to the doctor yesterday and they said she had strep. The night before she had a fever, and I know anytime that Audrey gets a fever, like something is going on. So we woke up the next morning, took her to the doctor, and they said that she had strep. She's doing good, y'all, and her fever only lasted for that night, so she's doing fine. She's taking her antibiotics and everything, so she's out of the woods as far as being contagious and everything, because she hasn't had a fever in over 24 hours. She's eating, she's drinking, she's back to normal Audrey things. And I know that y'all were worried about me too. From the last vlog that I posted, I told y'all I wasn't feeling well because I had a migraine. I'm doing good. After that day, after I got some rest, like I told y'all I was gonna do, I was fine, and then Audrey got sick. But like I said, she wasn't showing any symptoms other than the fever. And when she got that fever, I immediately took her to the doctor, because for me, when it comes to my kids, and you know, anything health wise, y'all know I don't play. Mila's fine. Mila's at school right now. She went to school yesterday too. So Audrey was out of school yesterday and she'll be out of school today. Doctor says she should be good to go back tomorrow. So y'all can see Audrey's good, y'all. She's being normal Audrey. She ate her whole breakfast this morning and drank her fluid, so she's good. Normal, happy Audrey. So that's what's been going on, you guys. As y'all can see, my hair is looking crazy. I haven't been able to wash my hair or anything, so it is ridiculously dirty. Y'all know, for me, when it comes to girls and their health, the world stops. Everything stops. Social media stops. Vlogging, whatever, until I figure out what's going on with my babies. And yeah. So that's what's happening. So we should be back on track with Vlogmas, hopefully. Not doing anything specific today. Hopefully I'll actually get to wash this dirty hair of mine. I need to go ahead and eat me some breakfast because I just fed Audrey, so I need to eat, because I do be slacking on that when the girls don't feel good. You know, I make sure they're all fed and thing, and then I forget to eat myself. I don't know why us moms, we do that, but I need to make sure that I stay hydrated and eat and everything so I can continue to take care of her. Audrey's hair is also a mess. Sunday night when I was going to do her hair, that's when I realized that she had a fever, so we kind of, you know, just bumped that off, and I'll probably get to that some other day when she's feeling up to it, but you know. This is what we got going on. What's up, y'all? So it is the next day, actually. I didn't vlog obviously that much yesterday, so I wanted to come to you guys this morning because I wanted to tell you guys about something that I experienced over the weekend. It has been a very trying couple of days, okay, but I always share my special needs mom experiences with you guys, so I want to go ahead and definitely, if the dog would stop barking, I wanted to go ahead and share this particular experience with you guys, because this particular one I don't think I've ever experienced or felt the way that I did in that moment. So over the weekend, me, Dre, and the kids went to church. We're looking for, you know, a new church home. I won't name the church, but we went to visit a new church, and in the beginning we felt really welcome, you know, coming into the building. It was a nice sized church. One thing I could tell you about Adriana is she absolutely loves praise and worship, okay? She loves the music, she loves the singing, the choir, the everything, just the whole ambiance that praise and worship gives off. Audrey loves it, but y'all know she is a music kid anyway. But this particular Sunday, she was like dancing and just being Audrey and just singing, vocalizing, doing all of that, okay? So as the service started to go on, you know, praise and worship was over, and during periods of the service, Adriana, when she gets excited, she expresses herself in a different way. You guys know that she's nonverbal. She'll use vocalization. So a couple times during the service, one of Audrey's excited vocalizations is she'll make this sound. Okay. You guys, you can hear that from me, okay? So, so she'll do that, or she'll do okay. Just wanted to give you guys an example of the vocalizations that Audrey does when she gets excited. So a couple times during the service, during parts when she was really excited, she made those vocalizations, and each time that I would see her make those vocalizations, I noticed people around us, you know, they would turn back and like look at her as if they were annoyed at the vocalization that she was making. Now let me paint the picture for you guys. We were sitting all the way in the back of the church, like literally like the second to last pew, because I don't like to get too close. I like to, you know, make sure she's able to handle all the noises, the sounds, the big screens, the lights, you know, things like that. And just in case, if any point that I need to, you know, take her out and leave, I won't disturb, you know, other people around us. So I always, you know, think about these things when I take her to new places. You know, just kind of have my strategies in place and in mind. So we were sitting in the back, second to last pew. There was like, the church is a nice size. I'm gonna say that. It's not a small church. It was a really nice size. So there were barely like people around us. Like a couple of pews in front of us were empty. On the side of us, like we had the entire rows like to ourselves. It was like literally, it was a lot of space between us and other people. Okay, so let's just put it that way. So we were kind of like winding down. It was getting towards the end of the service. Mila told me she had to go to the restroom, so I took her to the restroom. When I came out of the restroom, I saw Dre and Adriana outside of the chapel with one of the head ushers. And as I was walking up, I could hear the conversation along the sorts of people were complaining about Adriana making her vocalizations during the service, and they pulled us out of the service. Head usher, he was amazing. You know, the way that he explained it to us and everything, he was great. No fault to him at all. He was explaining to us that they had, you know, separate rooms for parents, like the mother's room, the father's room, for people that wanted to take their kids there and enjoy the service, you know, things of that nature. Now, the reason why I felt a way about this is because, like I said, you guys, Adriana's vocalizations were because she was excited. She only made a couple. It wasn't like a constant, because sometimes Audrey can make constant sounds like as if she's having a conversation with us, you know, without using words. She's using her vocalizations, and her vocalizations can be like a constant, okay? But they weren't. They were sporadic. Just for example, just think about if you're sitting in a church service and you hear somebody shout amen, or they stand up and they clap, you know, it's sporadic, you know, different times. It was kind of like that. So to me, her vocalizations were no different than those examples that I just gave you. Now, if I felt as if, you know, she was screaming uncontrollably, or she was crying uncontrollably, or, you know, just creating a whole disturbance, I would have thought to go into one of those other rooms. But for me, Adriana's vocalizations are her ways of expressing herself. Just like we express ourselves with words, Adriana expresses herself with vocalization. Now, in the beginning of that service, we did not know about those rooms. And even had we known about those rooms, those separate private rooms for parents, I always give Adriana the chance to experience things just as if we would before I decide to isolate her or have ourselves isolated. As a special needs parent, we are already isolated in more ways than one, in every aspect of the day, any day of the week, every day of our lives. We are already isolated enough as is, that I didn't think that I would feel isolated inside of a church. Going in, we felt welcomed and everything, but at that point when we were pulled out of the service, I felt rejected. If I could be 100% honest with you guys, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel good. I felt, I don't want to say embarrassed, or it just wasn't a good feeling. I've never been pulled out of a church service just because my daughter was vocalizing. The usher told us that he got multiple different complaints from multiple different people of her making the noise. If you look, you can see a child in a wheelchair, and I would think that people would have more grace because of that. And you can see when she's making the vocalizations, she's not angry. She had a big, like, huge smile on her face and everything like that. Like, she was happy. You guys know Adriana is the happiest kid ever. Okay, anytime I show you guys her on the vlog, you see how happy she is. And I always tell you guys, Adriana, only time you'll see Adriana cry or angry or something like that is if something is bothering her, she's sick or in pain or something like that. She is literally the happiest kid on earth. So when we have situations like that, it makes special needs parents feel like they have to isolate themselves, feel like they can't go anywhere, feel like every time they go somewhere they're gonna be judged, which in most cases we are, or our children are. Let me put it in that light. And what I can say is, had Adriana been smaller, had she been a baby or a toddler, the vocalization that she was making would not have bothered anyone. But what I've noticed is, as Adriana is starting to grow and as she's starting to get older, people view her in a way that she's supposed to act a certain way because of her size, because of her age. So they have less grace as Adriana is starting to get older. I've always thought about these things, like once Adriana starts to get older and she's becoming a teenager and, you know, just getting bigger, sometimes that scares me because I know that the world does not understand her. And it frightens me because she's nonverbal, she's a woman, and she's a black woman, okay? I think about it all the time, and I'm constantly trying to figure out ways that I can prepare her for a world that will always view her as less than. And for me, you know, the experience that we did have at the church, it was unfortunate, you know, for us, for that being our first time visiting that church, but I won't judge the entire organization based off a couple of members. But I will tell you that we did feel rejected and just not welcomed in the circumstance, just because she expresses herself in a different way. I always give her a chance before I want to isolate her from things that she can experience, that I know that she can handle. The place where I am in her diagnosis is very different than my earlier days when she was first diagnosed with Kleefstra syndrome and autism. In those earlier days, I was very insecure. I didn't know how to handle certain situations. I tried to make everyone around us feel more comfortable. I no longer move that way because I am so confident in Audrey's diagnosis. You can't tell me anything about my child, first and foremost. And I'm not going to take away experiences from her because it makes you feel uncomfortable, because you don't have the capacity or want to have the capacity to understand or have grace in situations such as that one. I just wanted to share that with you guys because the way I viewed it from that point, after, you know, the feelings of anger and everything went away, I'm kind of viewing it now as, if I ever did decide to, you know, give that church a try again, I view this experience as a teaching moment, because we never know, you know, how God is using us. And I always use my experiences and tell you guys about my experiences just to show others what it's like on this end of the spectrum, on the side of the special needs parent life, to show you guys, you know, the things that we go through throughout everyday life and things like that, to try to bring some awareness and educate in how we can move differently and how we can change this world for people just like Adriana. Just because you don't understand her doesn't mean that she's less than. Because you don't understand her signs or the way that she talks and vocalizes doesn't mean that she should be set to the side or isolated to make you feel comfortable. And that's kind of, you know, the feelings that I have been dealing with for the last couple of days. On top of, I already told you guys that Adriana was sick, but she's back at school today, so she's doing great. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. Now that it's been a couple of days, I feel differently than I did in the moment. In the moment, I was very angry. I was just feeling all types of feelings. It made me want to cry. I couldn't understand how that could happen or why it was happening. We weren't making like a huge disturbance. Like, she was just sitting there enjoying the service just like any other person in that room. The only difference between her and them is the way that she communicates was not familiar to them. So we were asked to isolate ourselves because of that reason. because those people were uncomfortable in the way that she expressed herself, and it made them feel annoyed. And that's the way that I looked at it. Y'all know when it comes to my girls, I stand 10 toes down and deep, and I will fight and advocate to the death of it when it comes to them. So that's the reason why I said I think that if I ever did go back to that church, I would use that experience as a teaching moment for those people or those members. These moments are my way of teaching others and spreading light and awareness and just telling people to have grace when it comes to special needs children and when it comes to special needs families, because you never know what they're going through. Always offer grace. I think that's pretty much that for this video today. I know I've been gone for a couple days, but I needed to, you know, get my mental and physical back in check after that experience and after, you know, Adriana being sick. And I want to go ahead and get this video edited today and post it for you guys, so you guys know that I am still trying to continue Vlogmas. I kind of knew that this video might get a little bit deep, but not like extremely deep. Just sharing my life as a special needs parent and sharing my experience and the things that I go through and the way that we navigate things, I feel like has just been something that I've needed to do and I will continue to do, especially if it allows people to learn new things about special needs parenting life and special needs parenting in general and my daughter's syndrome and just everything. So that's gonna be it for today's video of Vlogmas, you guys, and let's just hope that tomorrow's Vlogmas doesn't get so deep. All right, but I'll see you guys in my next one. Deuces.